Alright, hello everybody, my name is Dalton Ruthinger, and welcome back to Sailwind. Oh, it's been quite some time, hasn't it? It's been like 8 months or something like that since I last uploaded this game onto the channel. um, Ever since the last video went up, though, however, some things have changed. Number one, I lost the save file where I had like the bigger boats, like the brig and the other big boat that I had. I had basically every boat in the game um, available to me because I had so much money. But that's not really a big concern of mine right now because it kind of gives me a chance to start over from fresh. Because whenever you get too much money in a game like this, the game kind of loses its challenge. It loses its charm. It doesn't have anything else to kind of build up to that you really want. And once you get the biggest, baddest ship that's available in the game, that's kind of it. You might do a couple of voyages with that big, bad boat, but after that, you're kind of done with the game. At least in my opinion, anyway. Like I get bored of games that don't have a challenge anymore quite quickly. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. And we're going to ignore this difficulty. If you are stumbling across my channel and you're seeing this video for the first time and you want to buy this game, do not go for the easy difficulty. For crying out loud, do not go for the easy difficulty because I'll get into this whenever it becomes a bit more relevant, but yes, this particular region that you start off in it's calm sailing, it's calm winds, there's not that many storms, there's not really any gales that happen very often. But the islands are super, super tiny. It is incredibly easy to lose track of where the heck you are and overshoot an island or just miss it completely. There have been times I've been trying to sail out to uh, an island, like one specific island especially. I've had that happen multiple times where I'd be trying to sail out on that island, I'd be going in the right direction, but it just never showed up on the horizon, and I either went too far south, too far north, or I slept past it. So, what I would recommend doing is starting with the hard difficulty area. It's really not that hard. The game makes it sound like it's going to be an absolute nightmare. It's really not. And you'll see why once we get into the game here. And you'll have to forgive me, I did just finish eating. So yeah, this is the boat. You start off with a very different type of boat, and you start off with some very different supplies as well. In the medium and easy difficulties, you'll start off with a crate that has actual food supplies in it, and I'm going to move the microphone a little bit closer to me, excuse me. You'll start off with a crate that has actual food supplies in it. On this boat, you won't. You'll start off with like a single cheese, and that's about it. But that's not that big of a deal for us because also, if you're new to the game, I would recommend reading through this. It's very basic stuff, but you know, maybe I'll keep it around just for the sake of keeping it around, just so we can kind of look at it later on. But we need to buy some extra food here, and we'll start off by going to the market district over here. Do you have anything that I would want to buy? No, not really. What about over here? You have bread. You can buy whatever the heck you want, but I would honestly recommend you get the cheese. The cheese is... honestly, it might be a little overpowered. It's insane, like, how much hunger this will actually restore. How much money does that leave me with? It leaves me with 90, so I could probably... if I really, really wanted to, I could probably buy something else. What is this? Black tobacco. You know, I think that's all I really need for right now. So, let's go ahead and we'll buy a couple of jobs. And I haven't really specified what this is because this has been quite a long time. I might actually put this video into a different playlist on my channel. But basically, what this game is, it is a sailing simulator from like the maybe not medieval times. I think it's more of a like time period between like colonial and medieval times. Because I don't think this is a very medieval looking boat. This looks very more like colonial or like British Empire kind of time period to me. But yeah, this game, it's basically like realistic sailing. It's not like Sailwind, Sailwind, oh my god. Sea of Thieves, where you can basically sail against the wind and still like make progress. You have to actually go with the wind, or have the wind at your side at the very least, or kind of zigzag your way across the ocean. And it sounds difficult. It's really not that bad. This is actually a very fun game to play if you're into that kind of stuff, which I very much am. And the reason I want you, or I would recommend that you start off with this particular region, is because the islands in this region are big. Like, they're really big. This is... Ah. Developer, I think you've got a bit of a typo here. That's a bit silly, isn't it? Okay, let's take okay, we definitely want to take that because that pays the most. And then we'll take the very silly looking number as well. So, yeah, this game has like proper physics in it. So you definitely want to try and stack the crates as reasonable as possible. Like, you want to have them like right in the middle of the ship, if you possibly can. And unfortunately, it's going to take a couple of trips back and forth to load this up. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, but the better that you have them stacked, the easier the journey will ultimately be. So, I am just going to cut out here, and I'll see you guys whenever I get all these things onto the ship. Now, this guy finally docked. Okay, I'm almost done here, so I'll just go ahead and start recording again. Okay, so you might be able to kind of see it here, but you can kind of see like those crates right there have already put a lot of weight onto the ship. The ship is already, you know, kind of sinking down into the water a little bit. So if you put too much crate, it is complete. If you put too much cargo on board your ship, it is very possible for you to accidentally sink your ship, which it's not the end of the world. Don't worry. If you do happen to do it, you just have to recover. You'll lose some money and some reputation because of it, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, so the wind is blowing in a that-way sort of direction, which means we want that. Every type of sail has its own specific kind of name. I have completely forgotten what the name of that sail is supposed to be, so forgive me for anybody who is actually like really into this kind of stuff and they know all about sailboats and whatnot. I need to adjust the heading. Okay, come on. Unfortunately, like, launching from docks can be kind of awkward. So let's try doing this then. might run aground a little bit, but we should be fine for the most part. Oh boy. This is not off to a fantastic start, I'm going to be honest. Okay. Now. Is that going to do anything? Not really. Okay, well, you know what? I didn't want to have to do this, but there is a bit of a silly way you can actually get yourself out to sea, and it's it's actually quite hilarious. Basically what you do is you grab one of these ropes, and you basically just fling the ship along. You gotta be careful doing that, though, because it is very possible for you to just, like, launch your ship up into outer space, and you'll lose basically everything on board your ship. So definitely be careful about what the heck you're doing. Okay, so while we are sailing out of port here, let's go ahead and we'll take a look to see at where the heck we are. Okay, we are up at Siren Song, and I know that just from previous experience. We are heading down to Fort Astron, which is basically just straight south of us. Oops, flying lantern. See, I believe that's it right down there. We can figure it out by, let's find a place for our map here. That'll be good enough. You're given some free tools to figure out what the heck you're supposed to be doing. The compass is invaluable. Do not lose your compass. For the love of God, do not lose your compass. It's if you lose your compass, it's basically game over. But you can use the sun if you get desperate. Like the sun, you know, it rises in the east and sets in the west, so you can kind of use that to orientate yourself if need be. And if you press tab, you've got the green bar is your energy, blue is your thirst, and orange is your hunger. So I'm already, like, quite fatigued. And yes, it is very possible for your ship to catch too much wind and blow over. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and kind of raise up the sails a little bit. And you can go into a third-person view by pressing the C key on your keyboard. It's very useful. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll start pointing the nose of the ship, or the bow of the ship, towards the island we want to go to. And for this game, it's kind of useful to know, like, the proper, you know, language for the ship. Like, the front is the bow, the rear is the stern, to your right is starboard, to your left is port. I find it just much easier to say, like, iceberg on port side than, you know, iceberg to the left or iceberg to the right. It just sounds much more realistic to say starboard, port, stern, bow, etc., etc., etc. Every sail, I believe I said this before, but every type of sail has its own specific type of name. And unfortunately, it's been so long since I've actually... What the heck is going on with my voice? That was weird. It's been so long since I played this game, I've kind of forgotten what you call all these different types of sails. So, yeah. Ooh, and another thing that they've added in since I last played this game, I really just need to start, like, a new playlist for this particular series. There's also ship customization in the game. It's very expensive, and it's not exactly easy to save up for. And I believe only the three like starter ships. So this ship, which is I believe the cog, and the starter ship you saw at the beginning of the game, and the medium difficulty starter ship, you can only those three are upgradable. The bigger ships, the ones you can buy at the capital cities of each region, they cannot be upgraded, at least not yet. At least I don't think they can. I'm pretty sure they haven't dropped that update yet. But the most recent update was the economy update. Every region now has its own unique kind of currency. So if you start off in the easy difficulty area, you'll be using this kind of currency. If you go to the medium, the Emerald Dragons, you'll be using this kind of currency. And here, because I'm at Astron Crowns, I'm using this kind of copper-looking coin. Admittedly, I don't know. Eventually, you're going to start taking like open ocean voyages. Like you'll be going from one region to another, and these regions are pretty far apart from one another. I don't know if, like, say if you take a job here at the Astron Crowns and you go to Al Anka, I don't know if you get the job in this currency or that currency. I would assume this currency, but even though you took the job like in this currency, you know, like you took the job here, you'd think you'd be getting paid in, you know, this kind of currency, or it'd kind of transfer over, but it's whatever. Gold lions, I believe, are the coins that you need to use to buy ships. I don't know how they compare to a single actual currency coin. Like, these are the coins you're going to use to buy food, supplies, and upgrade your ship and whatnot, but I don't know how they compare to the gold coins. Alright, so since it's pretty calm, and we're still quite a ways away out from the islands, and this is why I wanted you to, yeah, you're going to be able to see pretty much every island that's around here. Okay, that was weird. You can't really see everything right now because it's a little hazy, but there's like a major volcano that's like way out there. I believe there is like an actual horizon in the game. Like you will see like the top of the island first versus it just like kind of popping into existence. So yeah, straight ahead of the boat right now, there's a like a massive volcano that just kind of pops up out of the ocean, and I think, is that it just appearing like on the horizon now, or is that just a cloud? I think that was just a cloud. Steer us back onto course here a little bit. Yeah, that's why I didn't want you to start off with the easy difficulty area, because, or Al Anka, because it's so easy to just lose track of where the heck you are. It is technically the easiest place to sail in, but the cog is, to my mind, like once you kind of learn the basics of how sailing actually works, you really want to start off with this ship, because it can't haul as much as the ship you get in Al Anka, but it's much easier to sail, in my opinion. How is the wind doing, by the way? I don't think our main sail is really doing us much good, so I'm just going to go ahead and raise that up. I don't like how much it's making us lean over either, so... It looks like it might have been doing some good, but yeah, it's fine. let's also just go ahead and kind of get it back to its neutral position. Okay, just one or two more rotations on this one should be good. So yeah, you're obviously not going to be going anywhere in a hurry. I mean, it's just plain old sailing. You've got these massive sails, and you've got the wind. And I like this game doesn't hold your hand like a lot of modern games do. This game, it gives you, it says, here's a boat, here's a map, here's a compass. That's what the wind's doing. Good luck. That's basically all you really get. You get some very basic just starting equipment, and that's it. There's nothing else that the game really gives you. And I like it for that. It doesn't show you where you are on the map. Yeah, you've also got these logs, by the way. You've got a reputation that can be built up over time. As you get more reputation, you get certain discounts at the major cities, and you can start hauling like more and more jobs. Now, one thing I will say, this boat, even though it's probably the easiest to sail because you can sail like pretty much right alongside the wind, it's probably the easiest to sink. This ship, I believe, it's not smaller than the Emerald Island ship that you start off with. I don't like that ship. I don't care for that type of ship. It's just... Okay, for a minute I thought I was about to go under. I'm not gonna lie. My heart kind of skipped a beat there. Yeah, this is the second biggest ship that you'll have in the very beginning. The only ship that's technically bigger is the Al Anka starting ship. And the only reason it's bigger is because it's actually quite a bit longer. But this ship, it has this platform up here which you can put tables and stuff on. I haven't tried doing like an open ocean voyage in this ship yet. It might be something we need to look at in the future, but as it stands right now, I've only ever done like the local island hopping missions, and I've built up quite a bit of money just hopping from one island to the other in this region pretty quickly, because like, everything is just so much easier to spot. And I think like way off, way off to the west, there is another like chain of islands that doesn't even appear on the global chart map. I've only heard it as a rumor, but apparently it does exist. It's kind of like meant to be like a final voyage destination or something. Like once you've got enough experience under your belt, you can actually kind of travel like way out to sea and hope you actually stumble across this chain of islands by accident. As far as I know, the world goes on absolutely forever. Right, well, we're heading in the right direction, so there's nothing really else to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and rest for the night, and I'll see you guys in the event that something interesting happens, or by the time the sun comes up. You've got to be careful when you're sleeping, though, because your ship does continue to sail. Like, you don't just go to bed and your ship just kind of magically goes into port or whatever. Your ship just continues going forward. I've got most of my bar back. I could probably continue sleeping for a while. That's just what I'm going to do. But you can't wake up whenever you want. You have to wait for something to happen for your character to wake up by themselves. Or by himself, by herself, whichever you want to play as. So you've got to be really careful. Game. I would like to wake up now, please. 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 Yeah, here we go, here we go, here we go. We're arriving into port. Thankfully, your character does kind of wake up automatically whenever you start getting close by to a major, to like an island or a port or something, so you've got enough time to kind of react in the event that something happens. But it's not always the case. Sometimes he will just get unlucky and happen to run aground or whatever, so... I believe I want to be over there. He also kind of changed how the physics work in this game as well. It's kind of interesting. I don't think you can sink your ship by scraping along the hull like say Titanic did. I believe the only way you sink is if you topple over or if you put too much weight on your ship. Oh crap. That's obviously not something that's supposed to happen. Okay, here we go. Just get ourselves, like, properly moored up here. And, the sun's coming out. Good. Where is... Okay, I'm gonna eat one of these cheese real quick, or cheeses. I'm gonna eat one of these real quick. There's my lantern. Go ahead and put the lantern here. And hope it stays. Two out of three. Yes, I'm aware I'm getting thirsty. Luckily, the market should be opening here before too long, so I can just get a bottle of water relatively quickly. I do have a cup I could use. Do I want to just go ahead and do that now? No, because I'd rather keep this barrel of water for voyages specifically. There's also no point in really eating that either. No, I'll eat the free one. Works for me. Okay. Now, one nice thing is that whenever you're moored up in port, your fatigue rises up quite a bit faster than whenever you're out at sea. I know. Just please let me sleep. I guess fine, we're just gonna have to sit here and wait then, because the game doesn't want to let me sleep and just wait. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Jeez, that actually scared the living crap out of me. Holy crap. Oh man, I wish I was recording for that, because whenever these guys pop back in, there's like a loud, like, kind of sound, and it legitimately made me jump. I wasn't expecting that kind of noise at all whatsoever. So I need to find someone who's gonna like sell me water, like you, for example. Okay, and I'm gonna hold on to that bottle of water. Thank you. Okay, and you can have your bottle back, good sir or madam, whichever you are. Looks like madam. I said you can have your bottle back. I said thank you. Okay, so yeah, this kind of gives me a chance to show off what else there is in the game. There's actual fishing in the game, which you can, obviously use to fish and cook for your own food. There's stoves you can buy to use to cook your own food. Then there's tables, chairs. You can buy like really lavish beds if you want. There's a lot of customization you can do to your own ships once you actually buy them. And for anybody who's new, I might as well go ahead and show this to you while we're passing along. By the way, how much money did I get from that voyage? Yeah, I went from 190 up to 133, so that's a pretty fair incline, actually. And actually, while we're here, I need to buy this. The reason I need to buy this is because this is a it's a thingy-mabob. I forget the actual. Is it a sextant? It's not a sextant. It's a tool you use to read the chart, read the stars. Quadrants. There we go. I might need to invest in this at some point or another, but for right now, oh my god, 8,200? Are you serious? Ugh. Okay, for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put this back on board the boat, and I'll show you guys that big ship over there. You know what? Whatever. That works. And, actually, while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so these are maps of basically every area that's in the game, right? This is Al Anka. This is the starting area. You would start there on the far eastern side at the island of Neverdin, and then you could sail where the heck you wanted to. And this right here is why I suggest that you do not pick the starting area. You see how small those islands are? Right? Take a look at how small those islands are. Memorize that. Okay. Now look at this. This is where we are. Right now we are at Fort Astron. We came here from Siren Song. You see how much bigger the islands are? There's not as many islands as there are in the other area, sure, but there's only one island here that I haven't even been to, and it's the Oracle Island over there at the far western side. Every other island is actually capable of being sailed to and has people living on it, whereas this island, the Isle of Clear Mind and Lion's Fang, have no people there. That's only 2 islands, but they're going to be the islands that are much easier to see than Neverdin, Alnium. The Academy up there at the far north. The amount of times that I've gotten lost trying to look for that stupid thing, it's not even funny. The last one is the Emerald Archipelago, and this, I'm not that familiar with this region because I'm not a big fan of the theme this island chain has going for it. I'm not a big fan of it. It's very Asian, I guess. I've never cared for that kind of aesthetic. I just haven't. It's just personal taste, really. I've just never really had much of an interest in that kind of look or design. I'm much more comfortable with the Middle Eastern kind of theme of Al Anka, or the European theme of the of Astron. So, and this is the global chart. This is like the entire world in and of itself. So, whenever you first start off, you've got just down at Gold Rock City. That's going to be Al Anka. That's where you'd start off in the easy difficulty. Then you've got to the very north of that is Oasis, which is actually very hard to spot. There's like a really big light tower, or yeah, lighthouse there that it looks like a burning star from a distance. It's really cool. Maybe at some point during this playthrough we'll kind of voyage down there and we'll see it. The Dragon Cliffs. If you want to have like really easy from like point A to point B kind of travels for long voyages, Gold Rock City to the Dragon Cliffs is actually pretty easy because you just sail like straight east or west. Uh, Astron is a bit more difficult to get to. Happy Bay is. I've only been there one time, and it's kind of a. From what I remember, it's very strange. It's a very strange little place, but you can't start there. You have to travel there by yourself. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much. Okay, I didn't want to buy that by accident. That's why I was concentrating on getting rid of that. Yeah. So yeah, let's take a look at this big old boat over here. This is the brig. This is the biggest boat you can buy in the game. And it's only going for 110 gold. Okay. So, how do you convert money? That's something I should probably look at now. Like, how do you convert money? I would assume it has something to do with this this trade post over here. Ah, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so if I were to put, let's say, oh wow, okay, that's insane. If I'm reading this right. What the heck? So wait, if I were to... Wow, okay, that's actually quite impressive. Okay, but if I were to... Okay, so it takes 87 of my current Astron crowns to get just one gold coin. Just one. One. That's insane. Am I doing this right? Okay, hang on, hang on. Okay, wow. Just wow. Okay, so it takes 318 emerald dragons to make just one gold coin. That is ridiculous. Then it takes 37 of these things. Okay. So let's say if I wanted to have 100 of these things. Like, let's say I've got enough to buy the brig. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so it looks like Al Anka has the best economy. That is just ridiculous. We're in for a long game if I decide I want to continue going on with this. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, we've got some voyages we need to do. But that is going to have to wait for next time. It is currently 7:20 in the evening, and I need to start getting ready for bed. So I will see you guys in the next episode. If you want to see more, please leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye-bye.